And we're back with part 2, or part B, I guess you might say, of our infection control, chapter 4, with a small bit of chapter 10. Today we're going to finish by talking about government agencies. They're on page 58, 59, and 60 in chapter 4. Classification of bacteria, page 65, and fungus and parasites, page 70 and 71. Again, I'm going to encourage you, when this video is over, do yourself a big favor. Play it back, stop it when the slides come up, write them down on a piece of paper. You are going to need this information if you want to pass your test. Number 1, government agencies. There are hundreds. Fortunately, you only need to know 3 of them. You'll need to know the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency. And here's the short takeaway for the EPA. If the question talks about cleaning products, I don't care what it says. If the question talks about cleaning products, the EPA is the correct answer. Number 2, there's Osha, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, one of their all-time favorite test areas. Osha. If the question deals with the protection of customers or employees, then the example is Osha, such as it'll tell you avoid direct sunlight, avoid heat, do not flush down the drain if swallowed induced vomiting, or go to the emergency room. If the question talks about the protection of the employees or the customers from products used in the barbershop, the answer is going to be Osha. Always and forever, OSHA. Finally, there's the safety data sheet. I recently was contacted by a young man who told me his teacher told him I was wrong. It's called the Material Safety Data Sheet. Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you what I told that young man. I suggest your teacher turn to page 58 in your textbook and read the following sentence. A safety data sheet, SDS, previously known as a material safety data sheet. There is no question on your test that material safety data sheet is the correct answer. The safety data sheet. And in short, what does the safety data sheet tell you? If the question asks you, what does the manufacturer know about their product? Again, storage, handling, disposal. If you change the oil in your car, do not flush it down the sewer. Okay? This is the safety data sheet. Don't store above 110, don't store below 32, whatever they know about it. The safety data sheet. Okay? Moving right along to classifications of bacteria. Again, this is not medical school. There are thousands of classifications. It's only a couple that you really need to know, and you really do need to know them. Okay? Number 1, we're going to talk about Spirulla, where we get the English word spiral from, like a corkscrew. Okay? It causes Lyme disease. It isn't very heavily tested. If you think about the Spirulla bacteria as being spiral, it's right in the name, you'll know all you need to know. Number 2, Bacilli. It's a bit more heavily tested. It is a short, rod-shaped bacteria that causes lockjaw. It is also the most common bacteria in the world, which is the typical state board test question. Which of the following bacteria is the most common bacteria in the world? And the word Bacilli, B-A-C-I-L-L-I. Now for the area that's mostly tested, cocci, C-O-C-C-I. It is a round-shaped bacteria, and it tells you in your book it may appear alone or in groups. Okay? There's one of the most popular state board test questions in chapter 4. The cocci bacteria is a round bacteria that may appear alone or in groups. When it appears together, it's called diplococci, it causes pneumonia. When it occurs in long strips, like a pearl necklace, okay, or a string of popcorn on a Christmas tree, it's called streptococci, and it causes strep throat. Finally, when it occurs in clusters, the book says like a bunch of grapes, it's called staphylococci. This is the area you'll be tested in mostly. Okay, staphylococci. It appears in bunches like grapes. It is what causes a lot of acne pimple infections. It's what causes boils. And the state likes the expression furuncle. F-U-R-U-N-C-L-E. Uncle. Furuncle. It's the medical term for a boil. Okay? You'll need to know that if you want to pass your test. Okay? Moving along to the third area here, fungus and parasites. The most common Barber test question on parasites has to do with lice, for the obvious reasons, right? Lice. The medical term, and probably the term on your test, is pediculosis capitis. Pediculosis, P-E-D-I-C-U-L-O-S-I-S, is lice, and capitis is head. So pediculosis capitis is head lice. I stress this for this reason. Pediculosis, or lice, can come any place on your body you have hair. Most people have the most hair on their head. Where are you most likely to get lice? On your head. Pediculosis is lice. Pediculosis capitis is head lice. And lastly, fungus. And this is an area you will be heavily tested on. Okay? Fungus. There are probably 12 types, but there are 6 types that you can expect to see on your test. You're not a nail technician, so you won't be tested on fungus of the nails or fungus of the hands, fungus of the feet. You will be tested on, number 1, Tinea Psychosis, Tinea Barbae, not the doll, but Tinea Barbae, B-A-R-B-A-E, and Barber's itch. Tinea Psychosis, Tinea Barbae, and Barber's itch. It's all the same thing, okay? It's a fungal infection of the bearded areas of your face and neck. And then there's Tinea capitis, again, your head capitis, Tinea favosa, and honeycomb ringworm. These are all fungal infections of your scalp. Tinea capitis, Tinea favosa, and honeycomb ringworm. On page 263 in your book, it tells you honeycomb ringworm, also known as Tinea favosa, is a dry, yellow, cup-like structure on the scalp with a bad odor. Recently, I had a teacher call me to tell me honeycomb was a kind of cereal. No kidding. I had children. They loved honeycomb cereal. Quite honestly, I like it too. Okay? But this is not a test about cereal. This is a test about fungal infections. And page 263 in your book tells you that Tinea favosa is more commonly known as honeycomb ringworm. It is yellow, cup-like structures that stink on your scalp, and it's very contagious. Finally, to stress the same point again, when you finish this video, do yourself a huge favor. Go back, stop it at the slides, and write them down. Paper is not cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than failing your test and taking it over again. If you have any questions, give us a call. We speak both English and Spanish. Our materials are available in both English and Spanish, if I can get them here. 760-534-4434. For those of you who hate speaking on the phone, you can text us or email us. Visit our website, cosmetologystateboardexam.com. It's long, but it's easy. cosmetologystateboardexam.com. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.